Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together, one frame at a time. Hey guys, I'm Randy Younger, and it is a special episode of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together, one frame at a time. And with me today, I have a wonderful panel of guest critics, as always. These are the powerhouse people right here. We've got Erica A. Welcome back, Erica.
Hi, Randy. Glad to be back and on Zoom again. So here we are, just like old times.
I know, we're back, and we're going to have some fun today. Also, Rachel Kolb and Eric Godfrey. Welcome back, guys.
Hello.
Good to be back.
Awesome, awesome. So we're going to be discussing season 3 of the FX acclaimed series, The Bear. But before we do that, I just wanted to mention that today is the 1-year anniversary since I started airing Under the Radar on Slam Radio through SiriusXM. And I just want to thank the fine folks at Slam Radio and SiriusXM. I also want to thank all the publicists for everything that they've done. And that is largely in part to you guys, because you guys have been very instrumental in bringing the show to life, bringing it to another level. So I just want to thank Erica A. for being my co-host back in the day, many, many years ago. 2016, we started at that Deer Park studio, Madhouse TV. So we had fun there. And of course, I've got Rachel Kolb here, my trusted, valued editor and good friend, and also Mr. Eric Godfrey, who's been a wonderful guest critic over the years. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to you guys. Also, if I'm thanking people, I should also mention Evan Ginsberg, who allowed me to be on his show and to have a 10-minute segment every week in the very beginning. And that's what basically started my broadcast career. So I'm really grateful to him and to all of you guys. And of course, everyone watching and listening right now. So thank you guys.
I feel like we need champagne right now to raise the glass to you.
I know.
To Under the Radar.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, so that's great. And hopefully many more years to come. So we've got The Bear, season 3, and of course, we're following Carmy and his ragtag group of chefs in the kitchen and outside the kitchen, his family members, and we have another intense season, a very dramatic third season. A lot of stuff is going on. The Bear restaurant has officially opened, and things are chaotic as usual. And we're following all the characters, which is amazing, and we're really seeing some growth in some of these characters, especially from Sydney and Richie. And I was impressed with the season. I mean, this series has great writers, great actors, and it's really going places. And I think this season's going to win a couple more Emmys. So yeah. So Rachel, since you are a chef yourself, I just want to kick it off with you. What were your thoughts on the season?
Oh, I really love this season. I thought that they really knocked it out of the park. Each season has been very different. And I think because of that, some people are saying, oh, season 3 wasn't season 2. And it's like, well, yeah, it wasn't season 2. It wouldn't be very good if they were just repeating season 2. But I especially love that it got to show off some of the talents of some of the cast members, like Io, who plays Sydney, also directed the episode that features Tina, called Napkins. So she got to show off her talents with that as well. And I really hope that she gets to direct more episodes, because it was probably one of my favorite episodes of the whole season.
Yeah, I agree. That actually was my favorite season. And I wanted to mention that there are a couple of episodes that focus on some of the minor characters, which was amazing. I believe they did that last season with Marcus, which was fantastic. I think when they zero in on a character that doesn't get a lot of screen time, that we don't really know much about, it's more impactful.
And I think that makes it a little stronger, because too
Yes.
many shows can just forget about their minor characters. And those were really, I felt, some of the strongest episodes. The 2 episodes where we really went off on a side note and gave the background characters some depth.
Yeah, we need that. And this show is about, it focuses mostly on the characters. It's not just the kitchen, but it's more the characters. And that's what really is the glue of The Bear. So it really works well.
Yeah.
you know. Eric, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I'm obviously a huge fan of the season. I agree, and I think there's you can even read into a little bit of the meta of the show itself, like a big part being that now the Bear restaurant is open, that one of the demands Carmi makes is something new every night. The notion of not getting into a creative rut in terms of the same old. And while that's pretty normal for a restaurant, you could also say that's the same for a TV show, especially one that's now on its third season. It's easy to just, okay, we have to keep repeating ourselves instead of trying to keep capturing new. But then when you go after the new, it doesn't always work, doesn't always bring people on board. And so you could see that as a metaphor for the series itself of always wanting to make sure to give the audiences something new. But in that sense, I think what the Bear is always remarkable at, and especially season three, is even with the rigors of the kitchen and of all of that, it's never ever lost sight that the most important thing is the people who are making the food and the relationships they have between each other. So if that just means it's going to be Tina or Richie or Marcus
Ibrahim.
or
Yeah.
Ibrahim or Sugar and her mother,
Mm.
it will always dedicate an entire episode to just letting two people talk instead of just having crazy kitchen stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see an episode dedicated to just Cicero because I know he has like
Mhm.
slight ties to the mafia. So I think
Yeah.
that could be a very complex storyline, his history and how he got involved with the Berzados and
Yeah.
all that. And
We're
all
just gonna have a cutaway episode to him going to the lectures at University of Chicago.
It's so random.
How did I get so erudite?
Oh my God. And I just wanted to mention, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, that this is going to be a spoiler, maybe not spoiler heavy, but spoiler light episode. I don't want
Because
to.
again,
Talking about
yeah.
plot points,
Because
but
it's like,
yeah.
there's little plot points here and there, but I mean, you have a series that ultimately is about the characters and the acting. So it's like, yeah, I can tell you what happens, but that doesn't mean you're going to get the
And it
intensity
has
or
been a while, so
Yeah.
anyone who, okay, but yeah, it's up everywhere.
that's also the thing. It's like
Yeah.
the Bear is now like the most everything show, so everybody talks about it, everything,
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other thing I was going to mention about season 3 that I think was a struggle, like probably was an interesting struggle for them coming in, is that it's the same struggle that the restaurant The Bear is facing, which is that since they've now opened, um, that like kind of similar to if you've ever been involved with theater, with a stage show, that you have
Mhm.
previews, you have opening night, and then it's like, what does it look like after opening night? It's the same thing over and over and over again, and it becomes work, and it becomes a slog, and sometimes you can lose your passion in that. And I think you especially get to see that in Bear season 3, and I think that can be difficult to make interesting on screen. But I think they do a brilliant job of it, especially having a whole episode that covers a month of services with these insane rules that Carmi has come up with. Which I have to say, as someone that works in a kitchen, those rules are insane. Changing the menu every day is completely insane. I worked at a donut shop in Jersey City that would change its menu every month, and that alone was a lot of work.
Wow.
So yeah, changing every day would just be.
But I also think another element is one of the things I always love about the show is how whenever they always know when to use John Bernthal as Mikey, because
Yes.
Mikey's only popped up once every season, and it's always the most like one of the best moments is
Right.
anytime you get to have Mikey show up. And the use of Mikey in this season was, of course,
Yeah,
exceptional.
in napkins.
And
Yeah.
and especially the whole conversation about chasing dreams and about being
Yeah.
stuck in a dream. And I feel like that's very much Carmen
Or
is
feeling like you can't have dreams.
yeah, well, like especially Carmen for the past two seasons has been chasing the dream of the bear, and
And
now
now
here
he's
he
hit it,
is
so
trapped in it.
yes.
And the fact that he's passed away makes it even more impactful.
Mhm.
And those flashback scenes are so like really they really add to the drama, and
Yeah.
they really inform us of the Berzatto family's tragic history. And yeah, every time you see Mikey on screen, I agree, it really adds a lot to the story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And especially getting to see Mikey, because the problem was the first season we got a little bit, and second season we saw him with his family, which is where the
Yeah,
worst of all his
yeah.
demons come out. But in this one, you get to see that Mikey that Richie would always brag about
that
knowing,
everybody fell in
that
love
everybody
with.
fell in love with.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that could be kind and make you feel seen,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like that he's the person that will sit next to you when you're crying and just like, you know, crack a joke
the rock.
and
Yep.
yeah.
That
Yep.
scene, the scene with him and Tina
Yes.
at the beef was one of the best scenes I think of the entire series. You know, because
So
they're
good.
they're both working class people. They're both, you know, really grounded, and that had that vibe, and him offering her the job. It was just it really felt so special, and it just resonated with me. That entire
Yeah,
episode
and
was great.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say, and thanks to the where it was set in, it's, we know we've already learned a lot about Mikey just through other people. We've learned a lot about Tina just by watching her, but it does illustrate a lot of like how Tina's character has existed up until now, and it really reinforces where that loyalty comes from, especially to the system, to Richie, to Mikey.
And it adds depth to things like in season 2 when they said we're going to pay for you to go to college
instead of
and
throwing
we're
her
going to
out.
pay for you to go to culinary school, and how much that meant to her deeply in that moment. And even with Sydney offering her the job as like as her number 2, that it's that you're seeing me, that it's not that I'm having to like fight for my place in the room, it's that you're choosing me out of, you know, all the other options available to you. So
it's definitely a good story of friendship and collaboration, and not just professionalism, but also personal lives too. How the professional and the personal kind of combine in that kitchen. It's really an amazingly. I love this show so much, and I'm so glad we're talking about it. Real quick, Rachel, have you ever dealt with a horrible, toxic boss in the kitchen?
not in the kitchen, no. Fortunately, I've been very lucky that in the kitchen I've gotten to work with some really wonderful people. I have gotten to work with a toxic boss outside of the culinary world, which I don't really have much problem talking about. And I will say that the thing of you gave me ulcers, you know, you gave me like stress and nightmares. I'm like, I absolutely felt that. I think a lot of people have had the experience of wanting to confront a bad boss in the way that Carmi does in season 3.
And that's also
it's crazy how much that build up to the final, like to finally having that confrontation with Joel McHale
that finally comes.
Yeah. And he's like,
I think I'm lucky that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brandy.
He's like, Joel McHale's character is like, you should thank me for all for everything I put you through because I made you a better chef. It's
I have expected J.K. Simmons from Whiplash to walk up behind him and be like, "This guy's got a point."
Yeah, no, the most of the chefs I've worked with have fortunately been like Chef Terry, who is played by Olivia Colman in the show, and also in the flashback, there's a chef that he's working with that's showing him how to truss chicken. And
oh, that was a great scene. I know he was like almost like a Santa Claus that came and brought him the magical gift on its first day.
Yeah. But the whole notion of that you come in and you just try to do better than you did the day before, that's I feel like that's what the best best chefs and the best sous in the kitchen, what their attitude is. So
and of course the sign on the kitchen and every second counts. Amazing. I mean, very simple but very strong. And also another quote I wanted to mention: evolve through passion and creativity, which was on Carmi's non-negotiables. So that was really good too. A lot of great quotes in this season for sure. Also, I also wanted to mention the Facts, who basically their family has kind of multiplied in this season a little. And
was it season 2? We were told there's 12 of them.
Yeah, there's 12 Facts, including Francine Fact.
I thought that was the most redeeming part anyway.
They
I love the Facts so much.
Some really much needed comic relief. They're just so goofy. They're like the Three Stooges, these guys. I love it. Or the 12 Stooges. And
are there 12?
Is it?
I think in the dinner scene, the flashback, I think they were referenced. There's
Yeah.
12 members of the family.
Or like I think Claire in season 2, there's a moment when
Okay.
Carmy says, "How many facts are there?" And she's like, "I know all the facts. Of course, I was going to get your real phone
Yeah.
number." But I think that there's 12.
Yeah.
And then and among them is Francine Fack, who whatever she did to Sugar is never going to forgive her for it.
Yeah.
She loves all the facts except for apparently Francine. All the rest of them, she will be like, my love. And Francine Fact comes up and she just just
I,
loses her mind.
I also wanted to mention that the main fact, played by Maddie Matheson, is an
Yeah,
actual
Neil.
chef and restaurateur
Mhm.
himself. And I didn't know that. I had to.
No, I recognized.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I
Mhm.
watched
Yeah.
on Food Network and cooking. It was like, wait, okay.
And he's like the only character in the kitchen not working, like not cooking. So
Mhm.
that's pretty ironic. Hilarious, great cameo from John Cena. Very funny.
That was one of the funnest parts I thought about this season. How many
Yeah.
different people you randomly found in there that you didn't expect were going to either return or you didn't
Mhm.
expect would do the show. John Cena. And then like we were talking about, I don't have his name from the final episode, the one who gave him ulcers. I was like, wow, he is there. And he's
Joel
like real
McHale.
sweet
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And
He's
of
not just
course,
there being crazy.
and of
Yeah.
course,
I mean, the only thing that was missing of a random cameo that makes no sense is Alan Cummings could have walked through.
that's true.
He seems to
Maybe
appear
season
everywhere
4.
these days.
Maybe season 4.
Yeah.
And if
Maybe
we're
he's
gonna-
the
But I mean,
yeah.
I know you guys love the show, and I know Randy has been like, Erica, what did you think? And he never said that, but I'm like, a lot of what you're saying might be relatable to you, but I have to take the other side. I'm one of those people who thought season 3 was just not all there.
No,
Okay.
I said at the beginning,
Yeah.
season 3 is not season 2, and I'm like, that's
Mhm.
me. Season 3 just, apart from, like you said, the scene where we go back and we see her how she finds the restaurant as an
Mhm.
older woman trying to work against the younger people, and then watching the sister go through the whole rebonding with her mother. I
Right.
found
Yes.
so
Yeah.
much of the kitchen stuff very redundant and repeatable, and I was like, come on, characters, give me a sentence, stop yelling at each other the same lines. I did love the mafia stuff. That stuff I thought could have grown. I also was so disappointed. I was, no spoiler, but I was glad that that finally gave me a conclusion. But I
Yeah.
was so like, come on, give me a little more.
Well, I want to
Just,
go. I want to go back a little bit and talk about another guest star who appeared in the previous season, Jamie Lee Curtis.
oh God, yeah.
Fantastic, great seeing her again. She added a lot of depth to that pregnancy scene, with Abby Elliott in the hospital. I thought that was another fantastic episode, and it was great to see Curtis again in that. We just have a few minutes, so I just want to touch on something that is sort of in the same universe as The Bear, and it is a movie that came out in 2015. It's called Burnt, and it stars Bradley Cooper as a tortured chef. He's actually a 2-star Michelin chef who's basically on a mission to make it a 3rd Michelin star.
Oh,
And
jeez.
yeah, there is a slight cameo, I guess. There's a cameo in The Bear season 3 of Bradley Cooper. They show a
Mhm.
picture of him really, really quickly. I think it was at the final episode at the party.
At the funeral. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Or
the funeral, sorry.
most real life.
So I think the character of Adam Jones from Burnt is canon to The Bear, which I think was brilliant, and I would love to
You don't
see
think it
more
was
of that.
more of a crossover, that it's not, but
I-
they can,
I don't know, but it was a definite nod to Burnt, which came out about
Okay.
almost 10 years ago. So that was really cool. I actually rewatched Burnt last night, and that's a fantastic movie. I would consider it The Bear is I would consider The Bear a companion piece to Burnt. And again, Rachel, I'm looking at you. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, on Burnt?
Yeah, real quick.
Well, so I sadly have not had a chance to watch the full movie. I've seen some
Okay.
clips from it, and from what I've seen, it seems pretty accurate. I think
Yes.
anyone trying to go for a 3rd Michelin star is out of their mind. I mean, the whole of season 3 of The Bear is them trying to just go for 1 Michelin star.
Mm,
And I mean, it's clearly driving all of them nuts.
yeah, there you go. Uh, And real quick, the Michelin company, it's strange. It's a tire company that started in I think the late 1800s, and then they somehow pivoted to restaurant reviews, like the very best restaurants in the world. I don't know how a tire company moved to that restaurant industry. It's kind of a strange thing.
Yeah, definitely a strange thing, but
Yeah.
in the restaurant world, it's definitely something that some crazy people try to chase. Um, me personally, I don't think I would ever have any interest in chasing that because, well, just all the pressure that comes with it. I would rather just make really good food for the people coming in my restaurant. So
Yeah. Yeah, because if you raise the
Well,
bar that high, it's just going to give you like a lot of pressure and stress. And
Well,
I,
isn't having a restaurant sort of like the female chef who was Carmi's mentor talks about? It's about watching the people who love coming here and your patrons growing up. It's not about chasing foodies who will come once in a lifetime.
yeah, Chef Terry.
Yes.
Yeah, she's such a great model in it. And and the thing that's amazing about Chef Terry is that she does get that acclaim and that attention and everything, but
Mm.
it's not because she's chasing that, it's because she's just chasing having a great experience for her customers. And I think that's a really, really beautiful sentiment. And I also appreciate how much they like often like the obviously the every second counts comes from her and comes from her father, and it's something that she's imparting to
Mhm.
all of them. But it seems as the show goes along that it's getting so many different interpretations for that there's every second counts in the kitchen for getting a dish out. There's every second counts with your life because you only have one life to live, and like how do you spend it. There, and of course in with Chef Terry, every second counts means that I want to spend my time going to London, I want to spend my time with my friends and my family. And even that you get to see at the party after the funeral for the restaurant that they're all very sad, obviously, that this place will no longer exist, but they're also celebrating what could possibly come next for all of them. And I think it's really beautiful, and it's also a lesson that Carmi has definitely not learned yet, because I feel like the thing that he is still chasing is the approval of someone that doesn't even think about him,
Hmm.
and
And
probably will not be thinking about him after that encounter with him.
Can't even get his last name right.
Yep, exactly. Could not even get his last name right.
I really feel for Carmi because he's got so many demons and he's battling himself. And every season,
Mhm.
it's like he's digging a deeper, deeper hole for himself. And I really think
Yeah.
if he stuck with Claire, that would have been so good for him. I really, it's
Mhm.
But
heartbreaking
he's
what he's
not
going through.
ready for happy yet. He's his own
Well,
worst
Yeah.
yeah,
enemy,
I
and he's
but that's
I think
the show itself is such
yeah.
a generational trauma, is such an everything.
Mhm.
Whether it's Natalie afraid of passing on the trauma that she experienced from
Yeah.
her mother, even the beef representing their father's failed
Mhm.
business being
Yeah.
him leaving and giving it all to Mikey, then Mikey giving it all to Carmen and Richie
Mhm.
and all of these, and now and then of how we pass it on, nurture versus tread. And it's like when you look at like say Sydney and Tina, there's nurturing there, and Carmen not realizing how much he's not nurturing Sydney, how much he's creating himself in Sydney
Mhm.
unintentionally.
Yeah.
And the hurt that
Well, I
his
thought it was
and
intentional, that he says it sometimes, that he's bringing out what he was haunted to
mm,
think is the best, but the best
yeah,
is to
Mhm.
make you into the worst creature possible.
yeah. And
Yeah.
in the end,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of people who just can't say sorry because they don't even know how to start. And even the facts apparently being the most emotionally
Well,
mature, being
yeah.
like, just say you're sorry and go from
Well,
there.
I would say that sugar is also a really great example of
Yeah,
what it looks like to actually work on yourself
yeah,
and
Mhm.
yeah,
like put in the work, because she is constantly going to meetings, going to therapy,
yeah,
like, and so that when she finally does have that confrontation with her mother and her mother asks her, why didn't you tell me about the pregnancy? She's able to like express herself
yeah,
and set up proper boundaries and actually heal that relationship,
Yeah.
to a point that they're on texting, like that she's texting her mom pictures of her baby. It's
yeah.
just it's really it's very wonderful.
Yeah.
I Ice Chips is also one of my favorites. I think probably my three favorites of the season are Napkins, Ice Chips, and then the funeral episode.
Yeah, very strong. And there's a lot of cliffhangers. We don't really know where Sydney's going to go.
Pointless cliffhangers.
Yeah, this episode, the final episode, just really left us hanging. And I was excited about this season, but I'm even more excited about season 4, and to see where these characters are going to go. I mean, it's really the sky's the limit. Christopher Storer really has done a wonderful job here, and I don't really know his filmography or what he's done previously. You guys probably know. Have you seen any of his other stuff?
Well,
Um,
now I'm quickly having to look this up because I actually didn't research this before the show.
Mm.
But
I'm not-
I
and
don't.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know him by name. I probably would know his stuff when you listed. I'm like, but Randy, you know I'm the wrong person to ask. Have you seen person by names of her works?
Okay, and I'm looking him up. He did Eighth Grade, the movie from 2018.
Yeah, he was a producer on that. He was also a producer on Rami.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like he's done a lot of like comedy specials and things
Yeah.
before this.
Yeah. Jeff Garlin,
Hmm.
Bo Burnham. Okay.
Yeah,
But he needs to,
Jared Carmichael. Yeah,
I would love to see him do like maybe a nice feature. I mean, that'd be great. Something he could really sink his teeth into. He's probably just focused all of his energy and attention on the bear. That's why he hasn't really done much else.
Mhm.
But which I'm glad he,
True.
I'm glad
Well,
he has.
it does have but it does have a more steady runtime than lots of other shows, which get delays and things these days. So
Mhm.
True.
it will
This is very
definitely
true.
probably win a bunch of Emmys. As I said, I thought it's a weaker season, but at least you guys have nothing to worry about. There's no way it will be canceled on this lame cliffhanger where nothing gets resolved.
That's true. I think that's
Yeah.
why even if you're right about necessary, unnecessary cliffhangers, it's like you're exactly right where it's like at least I don't have to worry about it in a week or two, like Disney Plus being like, we're canceling the Bear. And it's like, well, now I never gonna. It's like you're
Well,
right. It's
so
like I
help me
know that.
God, I think that was one of the worst cancellations this year.
No,
Yeah,
the
but yeah, so
worst.
it's like at least we'll know a conclusion
Next,
to it one way
yeah,
or the other. Yeah.
it will definitely be back.
I
Like
think
honestly,
yeah.
sorry.
No, real quick. I think for me the worst cancellation might have been Glow on Netflix. That was just
Yes.
That's eternal. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I think, and I wonder if this is why the cliffhanger of season 3 feels kind of so is I feel like probably by the time season 4 is done, it's like, oh, that was just one season that they just chopped and no pun intended. Like I feel like season 3 and 4 out of most of them is going to feel like the most like, yeah, this is more of like it's going to be 3.5, not season 4.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
well,
I hope so. I
I
hope
think
that
that's
it
accurate.
resolves a lot of the things and it makes season 3 feel more redeemable or more like solid. Because
Yeah, I could be wrong, but that's just my
well, I hope you're
feeling right
right.
now. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
That sounds accurate. So guys, we have just a few minutes left. And yeah, I just wanted to go around and see if there's any plugs you guys want to mention. Eric, I know your answer already.
Yeah,
Still
no, I
remains the
actually went
same.
back.
Yep.
I'm starting the other thing. Like, it's like, oh God, go.
Rachel, anything? I'm sure there's something.
So coming up here, I'm going to be starting a new position at Angel Foods in Minneapolis. I'm really excited about that. You can find them on Instagram. Gonna be making donuts again, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Second Act Bake Shop, and you can find Dobby, my dog, at Dobby the House Doggo.
Oh.
He didn't make it this week.
He is around here.
He has a backyard to explore.
Yeah, he had a backyard to explore. Now he's taking a very much needed nap.
Oh, sweet boy.
Yes.
Erica, anything for you?
Oh, I'm actually complicated. No.
Okay. We'll get back to you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
All right, cool. As for me, as always, you can check out new episodes of Under the Radar on Slam Radio through SiriusXM every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And also you can check out the video version of Under the Radar on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, where we typically record our shows. And that airs every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Also, feel free to subscribe and share to the Under the Radar YouTube channel. So, chefs, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chef.
Yes, yes. Erica, Rachel, Eric, thank you so much. This was a good one. We don't do a lot of TV reviews, but I'm glad we picked this one because this is a great show, and hopefully we'll get a really good fourth season as well. So, guys, thank you again. And I'm Rainy Younger. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together, actually movies, TV, and people together, one
And
frame at a
streaming.
time. And streaming, thank you. One frame at a time. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care. So I just hope everyone had a great 4th of July. Also, I wanted to mention that today is my mother's birthday. I love this lady. Happy birthday.